Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tea and Crystals podcast. I am T.
And I'm Kristal.
Ladies and gentlemen, as always, we are so happy to have you all back with us for another illustrious episode of this here podcast. We got a lot of stuff to get into this week, and I ain't gonna waste no time. So before we get started, Kristal, you know how I gotta start the show. How are you, my friend?
Well, it's almost 4 p.m. here, and I'm drinking coffee. So
yeah, it's been a week.
And I even you had mentioned in our pre-show meeting that even my voice I have my sleep voice. Like, I am so tired.
Oh yeah.
Like, I warned you guys last episode that there was a good chance you would see a more haggard appearance, and this is it.
And it's here.
And it's here.
When I tell y'all, Kristal and I got in here for our pre-show meeting, which our pre-show meetings, Kristal, are as long as the show.
Honestly.
Which is kind of crazy. Like, maybe one day we'll start recording them and releasing them for extra content or something, because we be getting, well, no, we can't do that because we be talking about our real life shit. And maybe we can release your portion.
Well, I was about to say, someone said that they actually do that as a subscription service. Like, that's what they use as subscriptions. They record their pre-show meetings, and so
okay.
Not that I'm saying we're gonna do that, but because we do talk about really personal stuff. But
yeah,
maybe if you paid us, we'll let you in on it.
Maybe $99.99 a month. Okay,
I know, right?
Well, let me tell y'all something. When Kristal first got on our pre-show meeting, she got on there and she damn near scared me because she was like, "You'll never find." And I was like, "Oh my God, Kristal." Good evening. And she's like, "Oh, Kristal, why is your shit sounding like that? What's going on?"
Yeah.
But yeah. Tell the people how your week was. Why you sounding like this week?
So I was feeling really good going in on Monday. Like, after the previous week where the first 3 days were just not it, but then the last 2 days were finally hitting. I went in Monday feeling really, really great. Really like I was gonna be a go-getter. This was gonna be the week. And I ended that day feeling the lowest of the low. So
Bitch, I almost lost my drink. Get the fuck out of here, yo.
Everything that could possibly go wrong pretty much did. And I felt like I couldn't do anything right. I got snapped at. I got, and a lot of it, the load feeling, was more me. Like, even though it was happening, like the things that happened did happen to me, and in the moment they're very frustrating. I tend to internalize and hold on to those moments, whereas the people involved are like out of sight, out of mind. Like, that happened last year. What are you talking about? Like, we're good, we're fine. But I'm like, no, this happened. Like, this just happened. This happened. This happened. You were upset. I made you upset. Yeah. I didn't mean to make you upset. I didn't mean to frustrate you. And they're like, you're fine. You're fine. What are you talking about? Like, so, but yeah, so I left that day like, I just can't do anything right. Like, this was supposed to be my day, and it wasn't. So that was super frustrating. I didn't work Tuesday because I had things to do with my car. And then I was back Wednesday. Pretty chill day. I mean, can't complain too much. Thursday was a little bit rougher. We were out in the sun all day. It was hot. There was a 100+ background that we were dealing with. But, we got through it. We pushed through it. And then it was actually Friday. Friday is what's got me looking like this, because we had what we called a Fraturday, which is usually what happens in the film. You usually get a Fraturday where you go from filming from Friday into Saturday. But this was a deep Fraturday. Like, usually we hope our Fridays will have us ending at like 1 or 2 in the morning. So no, our call time wasn't until like 5:30 in the evening, which meant I didn't leave set until 5:30 the next morning. And it's an hour commute for me, so I didn't get home until like 6:30. And I pretty much slept until about an hour ago when we were getting on here. I texted my friend here because we usually have a certain time when we get on, and I was like, yeah, we're gonna have to push that time by about 30 minutes ish. And then I knew in the back of my head, I was like, and by 30 minutes ish, I actually mean an hour, but I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna tell them that. And I was right.
But you know what? That's okay, because in a roundabout way, it gave me the opportunity to have some ice cream before we started the show, which I needed. I'm a little sleepy, so that ice cream got me right together, and I had been craving it for like 2 hours. I was like, I got to have it. I need to get up off of it. I need to get back to my regularly scheduled program since the past 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I've been cutting up real bad, and I need to get my shit together again.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that was my week into Friday. But yeah,
but you know what? We have to thank the listeners, because we asked them last episode, which just came. They did their mojo, and look how the week turned out.
You're right. Yeah. So I'll be with them again next week at some point. The first half of my week is going to be, I have a small gig that I had been promised a couple months ago before this one even showed up. And then I should be back with them by the end of the week if everything works out. But yeah, I told you, I'm looking I was trying real hard with my makeup, because, when I'm sleeping, I get real Asian looking. My eyes just close up.
Oh, right.
It's true. My Asian friends know. They know.
Our Asian listeners out there, do y'all claim her? Well, comment below. Let us know.
They know.
I do have an quick appeal to make before we move into the meat of the show. I know how y'all do. I know we get towards the end of the episode, and I'd be like, thank you for listening. Y'all be like, click. Y'all shut the YouTube down. You shut your browser. You close the podcast app, and you keep it pushing. So you know what? There's a favor that I need to ask you that I'm going to ask you for the past couple of weeks. And I'm going to ask you here at the front of the show before we get to the meat. And don't put the mouse down. Don't you fast forward past me. Okay? You're going to sit here and you're going to listen to this. Now, I need y'all to go on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartMusic, Amazon Music, wherever this podcast is posted, and it's posted a lot of places. Please go on those platforms and leave us a 5-star review. Make sure you also leave a written review. If you want to say something in the comments, which y'all are so sweet and y'all do, copy that and paste it into the review section on wherever you are listening to your podcast. It will help us tremendously down the road. And we also want y'all to tell other people what y'all love about this show. If somebody click on our show for the first time and they're like, well, let me go see what other people think about this, I want them to see what y'all feel about this show. And we know y'all enjoy it. We see it. We see everything on the back end. So we know that y'all are enjoying the show in one way or another. So please do that as a favor to us personally. We very, 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 very much appreciate it. And it will help us a lot down the road. And when it does, we can give y'all credit. We can shout y'all names out and be like, it's because of, bending that ass over 23, back in 2024, for leaving that review for us. This is all because of you when our empire takes off. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Yeah. So Kristal, I heard you had something for us.
I do. We're gonna do a little bit of our newer segment, the Kristal Queries. I got a couple of questions.
I always get nervous when you do this. Like my stomach dropping and everything. I don't know what you're gonna ask me.
What am I gonna ask you? So, and I'm not gonna lie, because I have a list of questions and I just pick and choose from them. So if I repeat a question from a previous episode, it's because I worked from 5:30 to no, actually it was from 3, because I left my house at 3. From 3 until 6 in the morning.
Yeah, I better get my girl some slack.
Okay, so the first question is, what's your favorite Disney show or movie that nobody else seems to remember?
Oh, Gargoyles. Gargoyles.
I love that show.
It's not my favorite, of all time.
Yeah.
But of one that I have definitely mentioned before, especially over here, excuse me, that is one that people are like, gargoyles.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, because that was, when I say I don't remember I think it usually came on later at night. I want to say on Toon Disney back in the day.
I was about to say, maybe for you, it was a morning show for me. I do remember.
I'm trying to remember because I know, yeah. It was later at night. It was later at night. I do remember that. I remember getting in the bed, being in the bed, and that sometimes being one of the last things I watched. And I'm pretty sure it was Darkwing Duck in the morning. I think I might have that backwards, but that's my recollection. But
mine is definitely So Weird. I love that show. For anyone who's never seen it, it is on Disney Plus. It's the first 3 seasons, I want to say. It follows this girl named Fiona whose mom is like a rock star. So they all live on the like tour bus essentially. And they're going from place to place while their mom has a gig. But Fiona has a special ability to kind of see the supernatural that happens around her. So every episode is about something happening in whatever town she's in. And so I've always just really liked the show. It was very entertaining, and I like the songs that the mom performed. So that's definitely mine. And then the other one, I remember watching it and enjoying it, but I haven't watched it since I was a kid, so I don't remember most of it. But it was called In a Heartbeat, and it's actually,
I ain't never heard that before.
It was on around the time with So Weird too, because I watched them in tandem. And it was actually, I think it's technically based on a real program, like up in Connecticut somewhere. I don't know if it's still a thing or if it was only back then. But it's basically about teenagers who are still in high school who volunteer to be EMTs. And so it followed them in high school, but it was a scripted show. Like it wasn't like some sort of reality. It was a scripted show, and it had a young I forgot which, because I know they're twins. I forgot which Ashmore brother was in it. I think it's the one that played in the X-Men movies as Iceman. But yeah, he was in it, and yeah, that's mine.
Mind you, I'm over here looking at the intro to So Weird because I think I get So Weird and Are You Afraid of the Dark mixed up in my head. And now that I see the opening, I have definitely So Weird. Low key used to scare me back in the day. I don't know if it was supposed to be scary, but it used to scare me back in the day. I ain't like that. But I was like, when I saw it, it was like the very, very, I don't even know if it was like on or reruns. But I do remember it wasn't on very long when I saw it.
Yeah. What is the weirdest text / call you've ever received?
Oh. The weirdest text or call that I've ever received. I don't really think that I receive any weird text or calls, to be honest.
Really? That you don't remember?
I mean, if I did, it's out of my mind. Now I'm scanning my brain. I don't really think I've gotten any weird text or calls.
I don't know if this is necessarily weird or more enduring, but a couple years ago, for a good couple months, I had this very obvious old man who would call my phone. I nicknamed him Forgetful Charlie because his name is Charlie, and he would call and leave a voicemail for whoever it is he was trying to get hold of. I'm assuming we had a similar number. And he would just call to let them know, like updating on where, because he was usually meeting someone. He was like, "Hey, so-and-so, this is Charlie. I am leaving my house now, and I'm going to meet you at such and such. I know we said at this time," like he would just update on whatever. I got like, in a span of like 6 months, I got like 8 all together. I still have the voicemails
Uh-uh.
from him. And I would call him back. He never answered. And I would say, "Hi, Charlie. This is Kristal. You've once again left that voicemail on my phone. So whoever you're trying to contact did not get it or receive it. So they do not know that you're running late." And he never answered me. He never answered me back. But every once in a while, I would just get another message, another detailed message from him. And like I said, in my voicemail, I still have like the 7 or so that he had sent me.
Okay. I've been scanning my brain while you've been telling that story. I really don't have any. I know I have a Google Voice number. And it was like a couple years ago that someone had left me a voicemail on that number. Mind you, I don't ever like actively receive calls on that number. If I do, I'm expecting them. So most of the time I have it so it, doesn't actually notify on my phone. But every once in a while I'll check it. And it was some man that was cussing me the fuck out. Like, "Stop calling my number. I'm gonna call the police." And I was like, I don't know who is spoofing that number, but it ain't me, Playboy. I'm not calling you. But he was cussing me the fuck out. But that's about it.
Okay, what's the most addictive game for you?
Ooh, you know what? For me, I really don't get addicted to games. I'm very cyclical when it comes to. I feel like you are way more of a gamer than I am.
Yeah.
I don't have the attention span, really. Like, I don't really like story games or anything like that. I really don't like shooting games. They stress me out too much. So I really like farming and like building games. When I was younger, I would sit and play Minecraft for hours. And like, say I had a free Saturday, that whole Saturday was dedicated to Minecraft,
Yeah.
But there hasn't been a game that I'm really addicted to. I really enjoy. Right now, actually, I'm very much enjoying Pokemon Sapphire. I have been playing that pretty consistently. Yeah, that's about it, really. I'm not really a gamer.
For me, it's pretty much whatever game I'm currently playing. I tend to play my games until they're done. So I guess in terms of an open-ended game where it really doesn't end, the most addictive game for me was probably The Sims. I would get really into The Sims for a good couple months and lose sleep consistently and then realize I need to stop. And then I would put it down for years before I would pick it up again. And I actually just recently picked it up again on my PlayStation. Other than that, I am very much into story mode type video games. So whatever game I start, I become addicted to it until it's over. So like one of my very, very favorite games on the PlayStation 5 is The Last of Us. Love that game. The first game. I haven't played the second game yet, but I do plan to. And then I also really, really love Horizon Zero Dawn. That game is such a long game to play. And when I played it, I was so addicted to it for however long it took me to finish that game. There's a sequel, Horizon Zero West, and I have yet to play it simply because I know it's going to be a very long game. And I know when I do start it, I'm not going to want to stop until it's finished. And I kind of like just want to hold off on that. I like almost, in a way, I almost never want to experience so that I always have something to look forward to. But I know at some point I will play it and I'll just become enraptured in it.
I have done that. I can relate to that. I have Tomb Raider on my PlayStation now.
Yeah.
That I got I have been on the last mission for I think 2 or 2.5 years probably. I have not touched it since. Also with this other game, Spiritfarer. I've gotten towards the end. I have not played it since maybe the top of last year. Like I do that where I get to towards the end of games and then I just never play it again. I don't know what it is, but I just when I get towards the end of the game, I'm like, oh, okay, cool, moving on.
Right. Okay, so this last one's a little bit of a controversy because it's actually been a pretty heated topic lately in the news. And so I think you might have heard this if you listen to the news at all, but in case you haven't, it will be interesting to see what your real reaction to this question is.
Okay.
So this question is, if you were alone in the woods, would you rather encounter a bear or a man?
If I'm alone in the woods,
Would you
okay.
rather encounter a bear
Is
or
there
a
any
man?
further context? Do I have? Am I at a camp?
If you're lost in the woods, would you rather encounter a bear or the
so I
woods?
just fell out the sky and I'm in the middle of the
You're in the
woods.
middle of the woods. You woke up in the middle of the woods.
I'm man. Bitch, I can
Mm-hmm.
fight a man. I can't fight no motherfucking bear. What that man said, if you see me in a fight with a bear, help the bear. Help me. Help me. That bear finna
Yeah.
kill me. Absolutely not. Bring the
Yeah.
man. At least
Yeah.
we can square up one on one. I can get me a stick or something. You know, it's me and you. I can do something with you. I can't do nothing with that bear.
Yeah. I'm going to go with 90% of the women say the bear. I'd rather have the bear.
Okay. Okay. You finna get me in trouble. This was a trap. It was a trap, Your Honor. This was a trap because I
feel
almost
like,
said something. I almost said something. That got
right.
me. Can't get me.
I just feel like if it's the end for me, I'd rather go out with the bear.
Girl, shut the fuck up. You would rather fight a bear.
Oh, I'm not
Kristal.
fighting it, but if I have to be ended, I'd rather do it with the bear because I
But why
know.
are we talking about being ended?
Because more than you just never know.
More than likely, that bear finna end you before that man do.
Yeah, but if that man is unsavory in any way, he can hurt me in ways a bear never could before I'm ended.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I can't go down this road.
I know. That's
on
fine.
the podcast. Kristal.
That is fine.
Okay, all right. You know what? We finna go there. I understand what you're saying, right?
Mm-hmm.
I understand what you're saying. However, if you finna be out of here, either way, right?
Mm-hmm.
You saying either way you gonna be gone.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you rather have the opportunity to fight the man? Because the man, it's pine cones, it's sticks, it's something on this ground that you can shove into his eye, his neck, something. Like, you can't do that with the bear.
That's only if I'm lucky enough to do that. But if I lose, if I lose, there's a lot of things that can just be worse. So, you know.
But you finna be out of here either way, right?
So if I'm finna be out of here either way, if I'm finna be out of the way, if I'm finna be out of here either way, I'd rather know that the bear's gonna kill me instantly versus whatever the man has planned. Maybe he will kill me instantly.
Okay.
Maybe he will.
I didn't mean to say you gonna be dead either way, right?
Okay.
Because with the bear, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we're going off the basis that these are aggressors,
right?
Straight off the rip, the man is not a park ranger. The man is not a fellow camper that's like, howdy doody, how did you get out of here, buddy? You know, we talking about these motherfuckers just trying to kill you, right?
Yeah.
Kristal, you have a better shot of doing you have a better shot against a man than you do a bear.
Of course, 100%.
So why wouldn't you take the chance? There's a chance.
Because the basis is that there isn't. That if you're going to go, which way would you rather go? My basis is the bear.
Okay. So if okay. See, I'm going off the basis that these things are attacking you, not that they're going to kill you. So if the question is, would you rather be killed by a man or a bear? That's different than would I rather encounter a man or a bear in the woods.
But even so, even with the attacking, I just feel like a man can do more damage attacking wise. Like, even if I survive his attack, I don't know how much of the attack I'm surviving, if that makes sense. Like what I'm left with afterwards.
But you left with your life, though. You left with the opportunity. You know what I'm saying?
But there's just
because I completely understand what you're saying, right? But like for me, in you're gonna get me canceled. For me in my brain, if I know that this man is finna do something, he has nefarious plans either way, right? And he gonna take no, I can't laugh at that though. And he gonna take and he gonna take my Bucci before I'm out of here. Like, low key, I think I would. I don't know. It depends on how he killing me. Because if he slowly like cutting the artery in my neck so it slowly bleeds, and then I'm sitting there gasping for air for 3 hours while he, sticking fingers in my mouth and stuff, then I might want to go by the bear. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if we going off of who am I encountering, I don't know. If I'm going to be killed, then it might be the bear. If I ain't got no choice in it might be the bear. But if I'm encountering, then I want to encounter that man.
Right.
Because we finna put him out. See, it's finna be a fair. We finna square up, fair and square out there in the grass. We finna be tumbling through them leaves. You understand me?
I mean, maybe if I did some self-defense and really felt prepared a little bit, maybe I would change my answer to the man. But in this moment, I don't feel like I would have much of a chance. So I'd just rather go out. Just go as quick as possible, knowing that there's nothing other than the fact that I probably spooked this bear or it's protecting something and it just sees me as the threat.
Spook the bear.
Yeah, you'd never realize that a lot of times some of the bears can be more afraid of like you or something like that than like if you.
But that's why if they're in your yard.
Yeah, I was about to say, you know how some bears, like, as soon as you make a loud noise, they're like, oh, crap, and they, like, run.
But that's because they in your yard when they ain't supposed to be. You in their yard at that point. And they're like, bitch, get off my porch.
I know, they're looking at you like, you yelling at me?
This is my house. This is literally my living room.
Right.
Get the fuck out of my house.
All right. Let's move on to our stories.
Yeah, you ready?
Yep, I am.
I'll kick it off. This one is from the subreddit, as you all can probably guess, r/am I the asshole? And this one is entitled,
No, I mean like... like, yes, we're getting into...
I want y'all to rewind. Did y'all see my face? I was like...
For all that bear talk, yes. No.
You ever seen that meme on Jocelyn Hernandez? Probably not. But she has like this. She has a thing called Jocelyn's Cabaret, where she get these random women to be in this cabaret, and she essentially bullies them for a month and a half while they prepare for the show. And I guess one girl was telling the story about how she had. I think the story was that she had to have an abortion.
Aww.
And I think it was twins.
Aww.
And a girl in the background went, damn, double homicide. And then she turned around and she was like, bitch.
That's terrible.
Kristal, it's one of the funniest things on earth. It's one of I quote it all the time. Damn, double homicide. But the fact, I want y'all to roll that tape back. My face was like, am I the asshole? Yes. So this is entitled, Am I the asshole for putting a lien on my brother's house and refusing to remove it until he pays me? All right. So he says, I do house renovations as a business. Even when I do work for family and friends at a discount, I have a contract. My nephews are getting bigger and they want separate rooms. My brother asked me to help him finish his basement, make a couple of rooms down there, add a washroom, add a kitchenette, and wire up a family room. I priced it out and said I would charge him $32,000, including materials. This is a sizable discount. The bathroom alone, I would charge anyone else $15,000. His wasn't even roughed in. First of all, God damn, that is like Jesus Christ, 32,000 for a discount, girl. I'm about to set the house on fire. Insurance fraud. Let's get it. They about to pay for that new basement. He continues. He never paid me. He always had excuses. I paid for the materials. I paid for the guys for the work. We did it when I had downtime and I didn't lose out on any other money, but it sucked to get shafted. So I put a construction lien on the house. He didn't care and I wasn't going to make him homeless. This was 2 years ago. Now he got a new job and has to move. And to get a new house, he has to sell his current house, which he can't do because their lien is a lien against the property. Ooh, get his ass. He called me to get me to remove it. Excuse me. He promised he would pay me as soon as it sold. I told him, fuck you, pay me. My parents called me to tell me that they would pay what he owes. I said I would agree so long as he paid them back. And if he didn't, then any money he didn't pay back had to come out of any inheritance we were getting, God forbid. And the interest started accruing from the day of the loan. They agreed that was fair. My brother called me to scream at me for involving my parents and our inheritance. I reminded him that he involved them, not me. He finally took money out of a line of credit and paid me with interest. I'm a reasonable man. The house sold over asking, and the finished basement suite made a huge difference on what he got. He is still pissed at me for I cannot. It's some of these peas that's tearing my ass up. I cannot get the pee out my mouth. Ooh. Y'all, let's finish this fucking story. I'm over. He's pissed at me for doing it, but I did everything legal and by the books. Am I the asshole? Turn the podcast off. I'm sick of this shit. I can't get the fuck out of here. Why did I say that?
No, absolutely not. I mean, you were more than fair. More than fair. This is why a lot of people won't do business with their family. I see this a lot, especially in like the photography world, where you know, a lot of photographers, they have stated, seasoned photographers, they were like, yeah, I just don't do family members anymore because they just expect so much for so little, and they want these nice beautiful things, but then when it comes time to actually paying it, they want to question everything. Well, why is it so expensive? Why is it this? Why is it that? It's just pictures, it's just this. But at the end of the day, that's your business, that's your livelihood. For a lot of people, like, you're the one who came to me fully aware of what the price was going to be, what the price usually is, what the prices are, and you still chose to do it. So obviously you felt the need to have these nice, pretty things. So same thing with his house. I mean, like, you know, you felt the need to have this. You got the discount. You said you were going to pay it back. I mean, even if you had made payments, something, like, you just did absolutely nothing until it became inconvenient for you. What if he had to turn down jobs? You know, what if this had put him in the hole? You didn't think about that. You didn't care. I don't know how it's usually in constructions. Like, I don't know if they usually pay for the stuff themselves or if it's supposed to come out of them. Maybe in the future, that's something you need to, you know, if it's not something that's usually done, don't do it then. Don't do it for family either. You know, the only thing you doesn't even should do, but if you were going to offer, that's the only thing you're obligated for, if that's what you promised, was the discount. Everything else should have been exactly how you would treat a regular customer. If they have to pay for the parts or whatever before you do anything, then he should have done that. You should have made your brother do that instead of you doing it yourself and then expecting to get paid in the back end. That was my only suggestion of what possibly could have been done differently. But I mean, you did everything legally. And ultimately, he had to know that by putting the investment into this basement, it would boost his house value in the long run. So he would have gotten that money back in some way. And instead he screwed himself. So I think, no, you're not the asshole. I think you did everything fair. And it was a life lesson for you. Truthfully.
And speaking to him, losing out on money, he absolutely did, because he said he didn't lose out on money, from his other jobs. But I mean, at that point, you're working those other jobs to pay for this job that your brother screwed you out of, because you had to pay them in to come do that work. Let alone the materials, which to me is crazy, because you would have bought the materials and then we would have done the work with the materials. I'll just tell you what you need. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because unless you're giving me the money up front, I'm not buying no materials with my own money for a job that you're paying me for. Like, that's crazy. I don't know. I don't think that's how it usually works. I think you secure the loan first, and then, you budget that money for whatever you need. Because I know a lot of I'm not going to say a lot of contractors, but I know some contractors will kind of fuck you if you have a budget, and a pretty decent budget, and they want to eat your budget up. For themselves, they will absolutely get some cheap shit. If and kind of weigh the scale in that way. But for you to put up the money for labor and materials, you set yourself up for failure, my brother, because I would have had to have at least have that money up front before we started work.
Yeah, that's the only thing I think he could have done differently. But hey, I mean, it's a lesson that a lot of business people have to go through, especially when it comes to friends and family, So yeah, definitely not the asshole on that one.
Not at all.
Okay, we're gonna go to my story. This one does have a little bit of an update to it, but it's not too long. So this is, I don't think this is an Am I the Asshole one. No, this isn't an Am I the Asshole. The title is, My Husband Asked for an Open Relationship and Now People Think I'm Cheating on Him. So I, 27 female, and my husband, John, 28 male, have been together for 7 years and married too. John works out of town a lot, usually 2 to 3 months at a time, while I stay with our pets and am working on my nursing degree. A few months ago, John asked to open the relationship since he was sexually unsatisfied while he was out of town. We laid down some ground rules, and eventually he got a girlfriend who lives in one of the city who works, and I sometimes have hookups or one-night stands. Well, recently, his sister, Lizzie, called me crying and asked how could I cheat on John. I just kind of laughed and asked if she was serious, and she said that she heard from a friend I was at a club with another man. Lizzie told me I had a week to tell John or she would, and hung up before I could explain everything. John was out of town for that week, so I didn't have much time to talk to him, but when he came back, he was exhausted from his work and didn't want to talk much. The next day, I woke up with tons of texts and missed calls, mostly from Lizzie and some mutual friends calling me a cheating, bad girl, and saying
Bitch.
I didn't deserve John. I woke him up and showed him the text, and he said, "Well, aren't you basically cheating?" That's right. Aren't you basically cheating? They're right that you're sleeping around, and left for the day. I tried to text Lizzie, but she kept telling me to stop making excuses and lying. Our mutual friends don't think John would want an open relationship and won't believe that he has a girlfriend. I've told John it's been hurting me and that we should consider closing our relationship and him telling his friends and sister the situation. But he says he can't just cut out his girlfriend. He also said he can't say we have an open relationship because then people might judge or see him differently. But that's exactly what's happening to me. I just feel lost and like everyone is attacking me and no one will help. I stopped seeing my flings and my friends with benefits after explaining the situation, but John keeps seeing and messaging his girlfriend. Most of his texts are him complaining about how I just won't own up to cheating, but I didn't even want an open relationship to start. He did. She says, I feel like I can't really leave. We live in a small town, and if I did it, it would just solidify the idea that I cheated. I'm seeing a therapist, but it hasn't helped much.
I am cackling. If y'all are watching the video portion, I kept myself on mute because I am crying laughing. Girl, if you don't shut the fuck up, why are you talking to us? Why are you talking to us? This is the Kristal, I think of all the letters that we have read on this show, this might be the dumbest one. Girl, why are you writing to us about this man? You are the fucking dummy for staying in the marriage. You should have known from Jump Street when he came back from a work trip, and the first thing he complained about is the fact that he was sexually unsatisfied. That's the red flag right there. That's a red flag right there. Bitch, you were gone for 3 days. This is a long weekend trip for work, allegedly. And you come back home talking about you want to open our relationship because you were sexually unsatisfied during your time out there? Oh, okay. Well, how about I give you these papers? You can go ahead and do what you want to do. We can open this thing all the way up. And by open, I mean open and shut in the court of law. Cut it off. Ain't no way. And then the first thing you motherfucking do is introduce me to this new bitch out where you be working at. Okay, so you was cheating on me. Is what you just told me. You was cheating on me and you knew that I was dumb enough to go for this open relationship shit. Let me tell you something.
Can I interrupt you real quick? Just real quick.
Ahead.
Yeah. So, not that this really changes anything, but it was 2 to 3. He's out of town for 2 to 3 months at a time, not a weekend.
2 to 3 months at a time.
Yeah, it's months, not weekend.
That makes it even worse because now it's solidified that you out there with this hussy playing on my motherfucking time. Number one. That's grounds for we might need to go ahead and call it quits. Okay, if you leaving 2 and 3, if you away from me more out the year than you with me, wink wink, military relationships, wink wink, military marriages, wink wink, girl, because we know how y'all get down. Y'all ain't low. Yeah, we know how y'all get down. We done heard all the stories. Okay, we know how y'all girls get down on them. Speaking of Serial, shout out to Serial podcast because I was listening. They got a new one about Guantanamo Bay out, and they said that the military girlies was out at Guantanamo hunching. They said that's all they was doing out there, and I know some of y'all was married. Anyway, that's besides the point because they actually tried to get one of the guys up out of there off of that whole in the thing with infidelity where they was in the military where they if you commit adultery or whatever, then they be trying to get your ass up out of there. They try to do that to him because he won't follow orders or something. And they was trying to get his ass for adultery. Anyway, we know how you girls do out there. Anyway, ma'am, like I said, I don't know why you talking to us. Divorce this man. He don't want you. You don't really want him like that. The fact that he would throw you under the bus to his family is gross. The fact that he ran back to his girlfriend who been his girlfriend for much longer than you think. Much longer. I wouldn't be surprised if she come up pregnant or has been pregnant and he hiding a child from you. I'm just saying, I want part 2 of the story because these things go deep. And we here on the Kristal Podcast have been known for predicting how these things go, and they be turning out exactly how we say. I need more information on the other end. But girl, at this point, you the fucking dummy. If this is a question, am I the asshole? Yes, you are. For staying in that relationship. I'm sorry. It really do grind my gears. My wife and I actually had a conversation about this. It kind of alluded to a conversation that you and I had on the podcast about influencers. And if you're making a certain type of content and you keep making that content and it's struggle content, at a certain point, it becomes, it's on you. Right.
Yeah.
And ma'am, you've been in this relationship long enough and you see how this goes and you see how this man moving. And for some reason you keep adjusting to accommodate him. So at this point, this is your fault. It's your fault.
You on that.
Yeah.
So I do have an update. This was written 4 days later. She goes,
no, because we're not gonna keep doing this. We're not gonna keep doing this because you be setting me up on you be setting me up on the T-ball and you don't be telling.
I'm gonna let you say your piece. I'm gonna let you talk. I'm gonna let you say how you feel. You know, about the hussy and everything like that. So 4 days later, so I met up with my husband's girlfriend and she was upset about what happened. Apparently, he never told her that our hometown was calling me a cheater or that I wanted to close our marriage. She came with me, met up with his sister, and explained, and she was shocked and disgusted by my husband. The three of us confronted my husband, and he wouldn't listen and said it was still my fault. I told him I wanted a divorce, and after he tried to convince me to stay and I refused, he agreed. I'm staying with his now ex-girlfriend right now, who feels horrible about what happened and is actually an incredibly kind and supportive person. I'll finish my degree online before I move as far away from him as possible. I know it's not super exciting, but I'll doubt I'll make another update. Please don't ask me and my ex's girlfriend to date. She is 20 and I feel uncomfortable dating with that age gap. Not to mention we're both straight women. She also says that in the comments, she said, me and the girl have so much in common. It's honestly hilarious. It's like my husband looked for a second, younger version of me. And then when someone asked how this was your fault, she goes, honestly, I have no idea. I guess in his head, I should have just been okay with whatever and took the punches. I've always been kind of passive, but as passive as I am, I won't take being disrespected so blatantly.
You won't take being disrespected so blatantly, but you living in the bitch house that man was shacked out with. Somebody ain't doing the math right. Why are you staying in that girl house? I understand times is hard out here. You got to do what you got to do. But girl, come on. You are down bad in the fourth quarter. I don't see. Get out that lady house. Go find you a roommate. Matter of fact, hit up one of them men that you was in the club with. Hit up one of them. See, be like, hey, you know, I need somewhere to stay. I got the cash, but I can also slide you a little piece of puss across the table, and dinner time. You know what I'm saying? You know I'm on that demon time. Been on that demon time. It's a win-win situation. Let me stay there for a couple months till I get my degree. I'll be up out of your hair. You know what I'm saying? Bring them hoes through the house. I've been through a situation with my man bringing women in and out of our lives. I'm used to this. I'm true to this, not new to this. Okay. My ex-husband equipped me to be dunked on.
This new way of life.
You know what I'm saying? That man is a narcissist, a sociopath. Like for you to sit in our faces and we're telling you reality, and you're like, no, that's not. I'm not going to accept that reality. Right. Like, this is the version that I want. Right. And this is the version that I'm going to accept. So whatever y'all decide to do is what y'all decide to do. But over here, you're a cheating whore.
Right. Like, I know I said open. I know I said open relationship, but by open relationship, I just meant me. I just meant me. Right. I'm the only one who's allowed to be in the open relationship.
I open this relationship.
wants an open relationship for me. Like, that was obvious.
Yeah. Didn't you know
What
I
did
wanted
you
to
get
cheat
from
on
it?
you in peace? Like, I wanted
What
you
did
to
you
know that
get
I'm
from
cheating
that?
on you. Right.
How did you get you can also do stuff? Like, that's not
Right.
open
That's
relationship.
not
That's
what
not you.
that's not, I'm a misogynist. Did you not get that?
That's not what the Lord wants.
Yeah, it was in my vows.
Right.
No, yeah. Till death do you part. Not me.
Not me.
Yeah,
You
not me.
obey, not me.
Not me. Okay. Yeah. You honor. You obey. Not me.
Yeah, that's my story.
Crazy, Kristal. You came in here ready to piss me off tonight, and I'm feeling sometimes like you put me in a situation where my booty getting towed up in the woods. And now I gotta listen to this lady complain about a man that she knows she's not supposed to be with. I can't handle it. I got pee in my mouth. Like, what is going on? This is my downfall episode. This is my downfall episode, and I'm just accepting it at this point. It's whatever at
That's
this point.
The title. T's downfall.
Yeah. Yes, either T's downfall or T's demise.
There you go.
Oh, yeah, that's text it to me because I'm gonna forget. You ready for another one? Quick one before we get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
All right. This one comes from r/PettyRevenge, and it is entitled "I locked my Aldi cart." You know what? You.
I'm gonna be
no,
and I'm gonna be in the edit. Like, okay, gotta cut all this.
No,
because I can't.
You're doing your story. I can't speak tonight. There is literally something like I cannot speak tonight. What the fuck is going on?
Okay, we'll do my story. This is from LegalAdvice. This says, my landlord died around 3 years ago and I'm living rent free. I, 23 female, moved into a house with my mom in 2017. The owner of the house had died, but I guess her daughter inherited the property and charged us pretty cheap rent. No lease or contract, we just paid in cash. Fast forward to around 3 years ago, she died and she had no kids or anyone she could leave the house to. My mom said to stay here until the bank or anyone came. They would have to give us at least 30 days notice. Well, it's been 3 years and nobody has come. I checked if the house's taxes have been paid and they have up until this year. I still have time to pay them before they make a tax certificate, but I don't know if I should pay it or who owns this. In the public records, it still says the original owner's name, so I'm guessing it wasn't inherited to the daughter? ? I don't know how any of this works, and I'm scared someone comes and asks for all this year's worth of rent because you're supposed to save the money for when someone comes. What should I do?
Girl, you better get the hell up out the house. Like, today. Get out of there while you not on nobody paperwork. What you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
You could, because and when they realize this mistake, you getting all that shit. Because a lot of states got laws like occupation laws. And if you have been there 3 years, girl, you are the occupant of that home. And all that shit gonna belong to you if ain't nobody else's name on it. Get out by them people's house and go find you somewhere else to stay. You're crazy for staying there rent free for 3 years. I couldn't have done it.
So in the comments, someone says, pay the tax, consider it cheap rent, and keep on keeping on. I am a lawyer, but I am not your lawyer. Adverse possession has become tougher in many states, but your squatting only hurts the daughter's heir. They clearly don't know yet, so keep enjoying your nearly free rent. And then someone else said, I'm a former code enforcement officer from Miami-Dade County. Since you checked property records, deeds, and taxes are yet to be paid this year, I would consult a real estate attorney, and I would, that's me personally, pay that property tax and keep records of payment, and then speak with a lawyer ASAP.
Hell no, get out of there. Get out of there. Get out. Because that sounds like, girl, risk it for the biscuit and see what happens. I know if I move out of here today, I'm good. Because this shit was paid up until now. I don't owe nobody nothing. I can do my thing. Because if you've been living rent free for 3 years, girl, I would hope that you put some money to the side to get you something else. You know what I'm saying? For when the jig is inevitably up. And since you know the deadline for when the jig is up, you should have been saving money from the. Anyway.
So from the comments, it actually sounds like she could possibly get some sort of adverse possession. So basically, by paying the tax property and keeping that kind of record, she could eventually take possession of the house from that, is what they're saying.
I see what they're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it would be like a very cheap route of doing that because she's been in the property for so long. So that's why they're saying, like, pay the tax to property and then get an attorney, because you might actually become the owner of this place.
Okay.
So, girl,
but she
get
was
a lawyer.
talking about, because isn't there such a thing as I can't remember what it's called. You know, the people who buy really, really cheap homes because people haven't paid their taxes and stuff. Because she was talking about the tax certificate, but I don't know if that's what it is.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
When these homes are like in deficit from taxes, and you can go in and buy the house for really, really cheap.
Right. And I don't know if that's what they're saying.
The county or the state owns it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if that's what they're saying, like, because she's still in she's been living there. She has a record that she did pay rent for a time period, and that the taxes have been kept up. And if she then pays the tax and has records of her paying that means she can be one of those people who can come in and kind of. But then,
what if by her paying it, it notifies the people who actually own the house, and then you will be stuck in a legal battle with them over.
Well, I don't know if it is that would be their property. That would be up to them then. Like, okay, do I want to do this legal battle to keep this house, or can I at least wipe my hands clean and walk away? Exactly. You know, I think she did right. I think take that advice and ultimately, you know, at the very least, pay the taxes and then go find a lawyer to find out what you need to do to possibly possess this house if you can, or if you need to move on.
Okay. Kristal, I am going to try to redeem myself because I'm mad. Okay. I'm mad. And my mouth and my lips ain't y'all not finna do me in tonight. Y'all not finna do me in tonight. So we finna read this thing. And if I fuck up one time, it's over. I don't care if I'm in the middle of the story. I'm quitting. Okay, so this one is from r/PettyRevenge, and it is entitled, I locked my Aldi cart. Stop laughing, Kristal. I see you, girl. You about to get...
I love how this petty revenge is already working in my favor.
Oh my God, I can't stand you. Anyway, I locked my Aldi cart to another person's cart inside the store. Ooh. Here we go. I was at Aldi and there was a woman shopping by herself with a rather full cart. My first encounter, she had her cart sideways, blocking most of the aisle, standing against one side, looking at food on the other side. I'm painting a picture here. I make my way past her, and of course, as soon as I'm close, she steps forward to get the food that she was looking at. I politely do the, oops, excuse me, and wait to pass. Not even bothered yet. Whatever, it happens all the time. Second time, I'm pushing my cart along the outside, and she's about to pull in front of me. I can see it. She half goes without looking, but hesitates, and I stop because I think she's about to. But then she doesn't, so I start to go. And then she hesitates again and pushes right in front of me. I roll my eyes. The third time I see her, she parks it totally sideways and blocking the whole aisle between those island freezers and the wall. She leaves it unattended and goes to get something else. So in the middle of grumbling and reaching to move it, I instead put her latch into my cart, leave my 3 to 4 items, take my quarter back, and scurry off to get a new cart. I don't think she has another quarter, as I saw her trying to push both awkwardly at the same time in different directions to the checkout. Girl, I love it. You muted. You're muted though. You're muted. You are talking your little heart away. We can't hear. What is going on tonight? What?
I have lack of sleep. What's your excuse?
Girl, I can't read. I can't sleep.
As I was saying so passionately, I I would have been like, oh, excuse me, I thought this was the day of inconvenient shopping. I'm just following your lead, ma'am, since we are apparently the only two in this shop that you can annoy.
Right.
I'm not mad about it. I love a good petty revenge, and if you were were able to think that quickly and saw it happen, I think at some point I would have maybe just walked by and been like, and walked away with my cart. Up to pushing.
But you want to know the most petty part of this? If you really think about how he clipped the carts together, because he could have pushed the one cart into the other cart, so she just had two carts and clipped them together.
Yeah.
He clipped it sideways. So there is absolutely no way for her to put the carts together. So she is forced to push the carts, and they're going like this. If you can picture it.
Okay, because I don't really shop at Aldi. I've been there like once or twice, so I do know about like the quarter thing, but I didn't really get the clipping part.
Yeah, because the clips are on the right hand side of the cart. So the clip that clips into the next cart is hanging on your handle. So imagine it hanging on your handle on the right hand side. It clips into the next cart behind it in the front section on the right hand side.
The handles are like back to back or something like that?
No, they're not back to back. When you push one cart into the next cart, like you're putting your cart away, right?
Yeah.
Imagine, I'm about to put my mic down. Imagine this is the little right hand mechanism. Your little dangly thing is here, right? Okay. Imagine an identical one with the dangly thing here. The entrance for you to put the little key in the next cart is in the front. The dangly thing is in the back. So you pick the dangly thing up and lock it into that. And you know what? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us for another episode of the Tea Crystals podcast. If you like what you heard, please leave us a 5-star review on the podcast or wherever you are listening. If you like what you saw, make sure that you like.
Guys, so please, if you've never seen a YouTube video of ours, watch this one to see the demonstration.
I'm real life trying to do a demonstration. I'm trying, Kristal, I'm trying my best to get through this show tonight. And I can't do it. I'm just stabbing myself in the side, left and right.
I see what you're talking about.
Okay. Why didn't I just tell you to look up a picture?
I don't know. You wanted to do the
simulating sex. Girl, I am 0 for 5 on this show. This show is beating my ass today. Anyway, if you like what you saw, make sure that you like, comment, share,
I bet they did.
On okay. If you have any questions, comments on today's episode especially, or you would like to share your own story with us, please do so at teancrystal@gmail.com. That's teancrystal@gmail.com. Make sure that you subscribe. This is a YouTube day. Y'all better take this YouTube video up, okay? Subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Facebook by searching Tea and Crystals Podcast. Follow us on TikTok at Tea and Crystals Podcast and on Instagram at Tea and Crystals Pod. Now, Kristal, is there anything you want to say to the people before we get the hell up out of her?
I feel like you've said and done everything that needed to be said and done. I think you painted a very nice picture. So I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate you. Again, please be patient. We are still getting back to comments and things from previous episode, like a couple episodes ago. So I'm hoping to catch up with that this weekend, which will have been caught up with by the time this episode releases. But yeah, well, thank you guys so much, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye, y'all.